Hello, and welcome to another voice memo podcast episode. But this is not the True Grit podcast with Rachel Grit, and that's actually what this voice note episode is all about. So, if you have been around for any number of time, you know that this has historically been the True Grit podcast with, me being Rachel Grit. So, True Grit podcast, because my name is Grit. It's a whole thing. Fun fact, I actually was exclusively called Grit for my entire school career. There were 5 Rachels in my class of about 35, 40 people. And so, we all had to go by our last names, which when you're in middle school, getting called Grit or Gritty or Grit My Teeth, if you were my bully back then, hilariously, another one of the Rachels. But anyways, it was not the best experience. And I actually hated my last name until my divorce. I had changed my name to my first married name, and then getting back to the name Rachel Grit took me about 2 years, and I had to fight really hard for it. And through that process, I started to really value my name. It's honestly, pardon my French, it's a badass name. The dictionary definition of grit is unwavering courage in the face of hardship or danger. And that is really badass. And so it kind of seemed like a no-brainer. I had already created the company True Grit Creative Co. To house my company. And initially my company was True Grit Creative Co. And then I ended up pivoting to True Grit Marketing. And so the name Grit has always been part of my brand. And when I started a podcast for my marketing business, the True Grit podcast made sense, because True Grit was part of my company's name. It was part of my identity. And even when I got married, I kept my name. I told every single guy that I started dating, hey, just a heads up, if you want us to have matching last names, you're gonna have to change your name to mine, because I am not going to change my name again. That is something that I prayed about. That is something that I led with. I didn't quite phrase it like that. It was more of, hey, just a heads up in case this is a deal breaker for you. Like this name, I have fought for it. I was born with it, and then I had to fight to get it back. And it describes so much of who I am and what I've been through. And so my wonderful husband, Cameron, he is Cameron Gibbons. I am Rachel Grit, and together we are Team Gritty Gibbs. And that's what we have. We have like a little group chat with my step kiddos and the two of us. That's Team Gritty Gibbs. Mine is Colson, because Colson, who's my son, doesn't have a phone or anything, or iPad or anything like that. And so our family, we refer to our family as Team Gritty Gibbs. And so for the longest time, even when I transitioned the original True Grit podcast from being a marketing podcast to being just, my podcast where I talk about faith and ADHD and all of the things that come with that, I kept the name because it felt very much like me. It felt like part of my identity, like so much of my story. But as I've kind of honed in on the kind of content that I'm making, which is specifically faith content from an ADHD lens, I really began to realize that the name of the podcast was more about me and my story than who I want to help and the content that I want to be creating. And so Jesus and ADHD has always been my little tagline on things on TikTok. If you go look at my name, it's Rachel Grit. And then the little, I don't know what the line symbol thing is. You know what I'm talking about? Like a straight line. It's not a dash. It's not a, what, slash is it called? Why can I suddenly not think of the name for the specific thing, like the straight up and down thing? And then Jesus and ADHD, even on my podcast artwork, it's the True Grit Podcast, and then a little text underneath, Jesus and ADHD, to kind of provide that context. And so as of today, I am officially rebranding the True Grit Podcast with Rachel Grit as the Jesus and ADHD Podcast. It's more true to the content that I'm creating. It's more true to who I'm looking to serve, and the type of thing that I want to talk about, the type of content that I want to create. It's more true to the message instead of the one delivering the message. And isn't that kind of a little bit of an allegory for our role as Christ followers? The message of Christ isn't about us. It's about the message that we're carrying, and we just get to be part of that story. So that's a fun, fluffy little take that I was not planning to include in here, but that is where we're at. So I'm excited about this. Hopefully it will make it easier for women with chaotic brains who want to seek, find, and live the abundant life that Jesus offers to find the podcast. And yeah, so I'm really grateful to you for being here. I would love to hear your thoughts on the name change. I also, now this is a funny thing about me, whenever I get a new idea, my grown-up version, I should say, of like opening a fresh notebook, because when I was younger, I went through so many notebooks. Anytime I had a new idea for a project, new notebook. Anytime I wanted to start a new book, because I was constantly like writing new books, I would start to write a book and then stop. New notebook. Every single thing deserved a fresh blank notebook full of nothing but possibilities. And so my grown-up version of opening a new notebook is buying a domain name for the thing. And so as of today, I am the owner of Jesus and ADHD.com as well as .org, because brand completeness and representation is important. But that's my marketing brain speaking. But yeah, so that will be pointing directly to my website very, very soon. And yeah, so I would love to hear your thoughts. Does this make it more clear? Does this kind of feel a bit more generic? Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. My email is rachel@rachelgrit.com. And that inbox is always open to you if you have questions, things that you would like me to cover on the podcast. Even if you feel like I got something wrong and you want to talk about it, whatever the case may be, my email inbox is always open to you. And while I am not the best at responding super promptly, I do respond to every email that I get, except for the spam ones that are like, "Hello, madam, your website is not good, not rank on Google. I can help you." So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.